Everyone knows that videos today are designed to grab your attention and lose it just as fast. You know what I mean, that ADD style of editing, short videos with fast cuts, disposable brain-rotting content from hell. Well, I'm no saint. I watch and enjoy a lot of it, and I do suffer from a touch of Mr. Beast brain myself. But lately, when I make videos, I try to do the opposite. I try to slow things down and make something that feels chill and relaxing rather than chaotic and overstimulating. And over time, I've figured out how to film my life and my bike rides completely alone, and still make them look cinematic and interesting. And so, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I do it, using just one camera and my own 2 feet. Well, okay, for demonstration purposes, I will have more than one camera today, but just pretend I have one camera. But nonetheless, I hope that you learn something along the way or maybe just feel inspired. But before we get too deep, let's consider this. Film is an art form, and there's a lot of rules and best practices. But you learn the rules so that you can break them. In other words, you can do things the wrong way, but do it on purpose. So here's my daily driver, my main rig. She's a Sony FX3, and I love that it's very low maintenance. All it really needs is a solid lens and an ND filter, which, if you don't know, it's basically just sunglasses for the camera when it gets too bright. It lets me keep that soft, blurry background we associate with cinematic footage. Next is my audio setup. Basically some technical mumbo jumbo, a shotgun microphone, and a fuzzy covering we call a dead cat. Shotgun and a dead cat. That's not a joke, by the way. If you are in the market for some of this gear, all of the specific models are listed in the description, so go ahead and buy what I use and help support the channel. This setup is very light and easy to use. It has plenty of mounting points for accessories like my old phone, which acts as a wireless monitor where I can change settings, hit record, and even play back clips without needing to be at the camera. And finally, I found a tripod that stopped slowing me down. It's made of carbon fiber and weighs 2.5 pounds. The levers are quick to adjust, and the ball head makes it easy to level things out on the fly. Is it lever or lever? Now I'll show you what's inside my camera bag. I like to keep my camera as built up as possible for speed and efficiency. Usually, I'll carry 3 lenses. My primary lens being a zoom lens, which gives me the best range of focal lengths. If I can only bring one lens, I bring this. The second lens is super light and serves 2 purposes. It gives me a little extra distance than the previous lens, plus the ability to shoot super close-up macro shots. My third lens is a wide lens that honestly is a lot of fun to use. It's really helpful for setting the scene, building context, or just squeezing large objects into frame. Blower? Well, geez, I hardly know her. This is a tool I never leave behind. It's just an air blower for removing dust and water. Absolutely essential to keep your lens clean and keep your image as crispy as possible. I carry enough battery power to keep my entire setup running from sunrise to sunset, and it's a huge relief knowing I won't run out of juice in the middle of a shoot. In this same bag, I keep a pair of wireless microphones in case I want to record my voice or a detail that my shotgun microphone might miss. This here is my secret weapon. It's a miniature umbrella designed to fit right into the cold shoe mount. It gives me peace of mind knowing that the camera is staying dry, even if it does turn the whole rig into a bit of a wind sail. Headphones for checking my audio, some very handy reusable zip ties just in case, and a camera-specific multi-tool is always in my bag. Obviously, I keep a few personal items, and somewhere in here you'll find some food and water. My camera isn't the only thing that needs to last all day. If the ground is wet, I'll use this rain cover for my bag to keep it dry. In this side pouch, my tripod fits perfectly and stays snug while I'm riding. And lastly, if I have the means, or a good reason to, I might carry a bonus lens, like this telephoto lens and doubler, which is essentially just like a set of binoculars to film things from very far away. And speaking of binoculars, do you ever feel like you're being watched? Before I hit the trail, there's one more thing I set up, and it has nothing to do with cameras. It's my internet security. Because a lot of what I do out here, like bouncing off random cell towers, using sketchy coffee shop Wi-Fi, texting A-list celebrities, sending classified intel to the government, you know, standard mountain bike stuff. It leaves my data totally exposed. So I protect myself with Surfshark. Surfshark hides my IP and encrypts my data, so whether it's my internet service provider or anyone else trying to track me, I stay off the radar. Protect your digital footprint. Go to surfshark.com/Mahalo or use code Mahalo at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk. Link is in the description. Okay, so the gear's all sorted and it's time to hit the trails and stack clips one by one. Filming this way is a true test of patience. You set the frame, you ride the section, and then you hike back to put all the gear away. It's a very repetitive process, but it's the only way to get the shot. It's also worth remembering that you don't need all this fancy gear to make something worth watching. You can tell a powerful story with nothing more than a phone or maybe that dusty dad cam in the basement. At the end of the day, the message is far more important than the gear used to capture it. And it's very cliche, but it's true that the best camera is the one you have with you. Knowing when to stop is maybe the hardest part of the process. It's a constant race against time and the setting sun. But when something does catch my eye and compels me to pull over, I try to move fast. First, I drop my bag somewhere out of frame or behind a tree because setting up your angle to realize your backpack is in plain sight can be very annoying. So I try to make this decision right away. I find my angle freehand first to see what looks best. Once I'm happy, I mark that exact spot with my fist so I can swap in the tripod without losing the composition. Unless I'm doing something artsy-fartsy, I'll always level the shot. I use the in-camera level, a bubble level, or grid lines to keep everything straight. Next, I dial in the exposure using the histogram, and then I'll find perfect focus with the peaking tool. After that, I hit record, and then I do the biking thing. Every time I hit record, I go through a bit of a mental checklist. I need to make sure that I'm not clipping my highlights or crushing my blacks, which means that once you lose all that detail to pure white or pure black in your image, it's gone for good. So you need to find that middle ground. And this is why I love cloudy days, and a lot of filmmakers also do. The even light makes it easy to keep the image looking clean. I also spend a lot of my time thinking about my angles and my screen direction. I want to make sure that the way I cross the frame makes sense from one shot to the next. The goal is to always keep the viewer locked in without ever making them feel lost or disoriented. The biggest shift happens when you start to edit in your head. You begin to feel how the shots connect, what's missing, or what you can skip entirely. Being able to confidently make decisions will save you time not only while you film, but in your edit as well. And although I'm teaching how to film mountain biking, all of this stuff applies to any type of filming for any subject matter. For example, like I've done many times in this video already, I start a scene with a very wide establishing shot, and then I cut in closer with a variety of angles, whatever I'm feeling, to keep things interesting and also give myself options in editing. Sometimes you get lucky, and if you've done it well, all the stars aligned, you timed it perfectly, made all the right decisions, you might shoot a banger. And if not, you might just have a shot that's good enough, and it's time to move on. So shooting in the woods on a cloudy day is always a treat. But what if the sun comes out? Well, it gets a little trickier. I'm always watching the light as I ride. I want to know where the sun is and how it's hitting the landscape. High afternoon sun is tricky because it creates deep shadows that are hard to expose without blowing out the highlights. As I mentioned earlier, you want to avoid parts of your image becoming pure white. And even just a 5% shift away from pure white can save your footage. This is all pretty basic stuff for the pros, but essential for anyone new to photography or video. So take 10 minutes to learn how to use histograms and zebras. It's like week 1 film school material that'll immediately improve your exposure and the quality of your image. One thing I literally learned in the first week of film school many years ago was to avoid front lighting like I'm doing right now. The sun is casting distracting shadows, and as a general rule, it's usually your worst choice for lighting. Backlighting or side lighting is much more visually appealing, even if my own ugly mug here isn't the best example of that. And if you're not sure what the sun is doing, just look at your fist. People will be very impressed when they see you studying the shadows on your hairy knuckles. As the sun sets, this is when I start to mildly panic about the last few shots I can squeeze in. So while I scramble to beat the light, let me offer a few more pro tips for those who want them. Unless I'm shooting slow motion, most of my day is filmed at 24 frames per second. I don't use shutter speed, I use 180-degree shutter angle, and I never have to change it regardless of frame rate. I shoot in an H.264 codec at the highest bitrate possible, and I use this exposure LUT to push my image a little brighter than I normally would, helping me retain as much detail as possible. And if you're wondering, I've got about 10 hours of space on this memory card, so I can just roll and not think twice about running out. Filming by yourself with nothing but a tripod is definitely a grind, but it's also one of the best ways to really learn your camera and learn how to create strong, intentional shots. When you're only using static frames with no camera movement, you're forced to be deliberate. You can't really hide behind movement or fancy movie magic, and you don't really get to fix it later in editing. You have to get it right in camera. And honestly, the other thing is, there's no other cooks in the kitchen. You make the decisions and you make them quick, exactly how you want them. And that kind of control over time really shapes how you see and you shoot everything. So that's how I do it. And I know a few of you out there probably thought I set up 100 cameras on the trail and ride at once. Oh, and by the way, if you all would check out my merch store, I'm saving up for 100 cameras because that's an excellent idea.